Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am excited to get to hang out with you today and try out my Sephora haul. Yes, if you saw my recent video, I shared with you the small for me haul that I did during the Sephora Friends and Family event. So I thought today I would take some time to try on those things and a few other bits and baubles that I have here, some new to me things, and then some things that I just saw in my drawers. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I should put those into my Shop My Stash. I thought I'd do a little bit of a rotation. So we'll go into a couple of those things as well. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, so we're gonna dive in. As you can see, I don't have a lick of makeup on my face because I had mostly, honestly, like out of the makeup that I got, it's pretty much all complexion. So I wanted to start naked faced. I think I'm just gonna do a pretty simple eye look today because I didn't buy any eye makeup products in the sale. Shocker, I know. So I think we should be pretty safe waiting to do eyes after complexion. Fingers crossed. I don't think that the products I use will have much of a problem with. We shall see, but I have a few lip products that I purchased and I kind of want to like swatch those out and decide that first. So this will be the first time I feel like I've done a lip first and then tried to go in with an eye look. Anyway, we're already getting a little rambly. Let's dive into this right now. All right, I've zoomed you in a little bit so that we can like get going with the face. I tried to adjust my camera settings to like look the most real. I keep like looking at myself in the mirror, looking at myself in the viewfinder. I'm like, yeah, I think this is the real Kelly. I don't know why. I think it's probably just because it's been so gray out, but I have had struggles. Like I just feel like everything's been looking kind of dark and I have all my studio lights on. So I don't know, I hope this is all looking okay. But I just wanted to say, like, if you feel like it's looking a little dark, let me know. I can try to like tweak things a little bit more, but I just wanted mostly, it's most important for me to like feel like the color and everything is looking good without being like too blurred and like soft focus. So we're gonna go in with skin first. I do have the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Foundation. I did do a little review of this when I got my sample and obviously I loved it enough to pick up the full size. However, I don't really want like a lot of coverage today, I don't think. So I think I'm gonna sheer it out with something. I'm probably gonna go in with the Coconut Skin Smoothie Skin Priming Moisturizer from HelloFab, from First Aid Beauty. So let's go ahead and make a little cocktail, shall we? So I'm actually doing like 50-50 or maybe even like 60-40 moisturizer to the foundation. Just because, like I said, I really just wanna like have something not too much coverage. Not that I think that this is a high coverage foundation by any means. I don't know, I kind of want to keep it really light. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little of this on my lids. I am glad that I have used this foundation because the concealer that I'm gonna go through, I have never used. And when I'm trying out a new complexion product, like just by scientific method, I don't want to have too many variables. So I'm glad to be using something that I've used before. What should I use for my foundation brush? Let's go through with the Layer-Fay F09. I do really like this one. It's one of these like kind of like contoured brushes. This one is just, it's just like the perfect density and it's a nice size. It's not quite as big as the BK Beauty 101 brush. And I think the bristles are a little bit smaller too, so I kind of like this one. I do think that I like this one a bit more than the 101. I know that I tout the brush's praises. It is a really great brush, but you know that I'm team small brush, and this one's just a little bit smaller than that, but not as small as the new, I actually have it right here, the new 109 brush. So it's sort of like a good in between. Oh, I just love the way that this foundation looks. I mean, even having it like mixed in with a glowy moisturizer, it gives me just enough coverage that I feel like it's sort of like, you know, no makeup kind of. All right, I am here for this. Honestly, I'm so glad that I picked up this foundation. And because I use very little, especially because a lot of times I do shear this one out, I feel like this bottle is going to last me a very long time. So it was good bang for the buck, especially since I got it with 20% off during the sale. Now let's try the product that I'm super excited to try out, the Kosas Revealer Concealer. Yes, I know everybody has tried this one. I have not. It's been on my list for a long time, but I was just trying to get through a couple of the concealers that I already have. So I have the shade 3.20. Oh, by the way, I have the shade, I think it's 210. Yeah, I have the shade 210 in the Haus Labs foundation in case you're close to me and you kind of want to try it out. Maybe this would give you a little bit of a hint. So this concealer has a bit of an olive undertone, which I think is going to work really well. I've been dying to try this concealer, and I just knew I had so many at the time that it really didn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna, this has a weird scent. It's not really strong, it's just weird. So right away, that just like gave me the vibes of that Say glowy thing that I tried out, that if you saw that and I was saying that it reminds me of like an airplane bathroom, it gives me a little bit of those vibes, but not quite as strong, not quite as strong. Okay, I think that that goes pretty well. I probably could have gone just neutral. Like, I think that these olive tones work for me, but I maybe could have gone just like neutral because I am so, like, I have so much blue tone right here through my inner corner that the green undertone in this is probably just gonna like enhance that a little bit. So I might need to use like a more peachy corrector first. Like, well, I still have the Becca one, but I guess now it's Smashbox, right? So I might pop that on next time just to see. I mean, this tone is gonna be really good for like my nose area where I have a bit more redness, because that olive tone is gonna kind of cancel that out a little bit. It's just not gonna be as good for like my inner corner, but it'll work really good in other areas, and especially like to cover up blemishes because it'll have that little bit of olive. I'm gonna use a little bit to dab over that annoying pigmentation that I have right there from that breakout that like just would not stop. Yeah, I feel like that just like tones down that redness from that breakout really, really nicely. Okay, cool. We'll see how this wears. I'm gonna go ahead and set this with my Hourglass Veil Powder. When I wear the Haus, I pretty much always like do a light setting with some powder, just because I do find that that foundation does get a little like extra glowy by the end of the day. And, you know, I obviously put a little bit of a glowy moisturizer in it. So I just want to, you know, make sure we don't go from glowy to greasy by the end of the day. And by the way, like once I set my under eye and my lid and my nose, anything that's left on this brush is what I like kind of like whisk around the face. So I'm not adding any extra powder. Speaking of powder, can I just say I have like a good bit of this Hourglass Veil, and I think I actually have a backup of this powder. So stupid. Like, if I had known, if Kelly back then had known how long it would take to go through this powder, I never would have done that, but I do think I have a backup. However, from how much that I love the Haus Labs foundation and how much I am hearing good things about the Haus Labs powder, I'm so tempted to pick up that powder, but I just cannot do it. I cannot do it because I have so much powder to get through, and I really don't wear a lot, but at some point I really do want to try that one. And you can see I still have like a good bit of luminosity. That's one of the things that I love about the Hourglass powder, is it doesn't take away like a good skin-like effect. It just takes away extra sheen. I really do like this one. All right, should we go ahead and do some eyebrows just so I feel like I've got a little bit of framing before we use the other products? I think that's a good idea. Okay, here we are, brows on. It's amazing how much of a difference that always makes, right? All right, now we're gonna go through with one of the products that was a total impulse buy. Actually, the only product that was an impulse buy, but that I'm totally excited about. This is the Redimension Hydro Powder Blush from RMS, and this is the shade Maiden's Blush. This is so freaking pretty. I am so excited to try this. I haven't touched it yet. Ooh, yeah. These seem really, really nice. Okay. So if you saw my haul, I did purchase 2 shades, but that was basically because this was the shade that I really wanted and it was out of stock. It was out of stock when I originally was shopping, and I was like, well, I'll get my second favorite. Like just the finish of these, the tones, they all looked really pretty. So I ended up picking up Sangria. And then like the next day, Maiden's Blush came back in stock and I decided to order that one. So I'm just gonna stick with my guns as much as I kind of want to keep both. I feel like Sangria is similar to another blush that I have, so I feel like this was the one that I was meant to have. It's like this beautiful toasty, almost like cinnamony mauve shade, so I cannot wait to try this one on. What brush shall we use? I want to use something fairly loose and fluffy just because I don't really know like how much this is going to build under the cheeks. So I'm going to go through with the BK Beauty 107. I think this is like one of their all over powder brushes or something like that. I've really been enjoying this brush because I like the shape of it. I like the longer bristles. I like that it's not like too densely packed, but it's enough to where you could like build up color pretty quickly, and it would be a good like multitasker. So we'll just pop a little of this on. Ooh, that's really pretty. It is coming up maybe a little bit more pink than I thought it was going to be, although that could just be the pink hair. It's like, I feel like, oh no, that's right. Okay. I think I maybe thought that this was going to be just a little bit more cinnamon toned, but it's very pretty. I love that this gives that very like skin-like finish. It kind of reminds me a little bit of an Hourglass blush. You know, obviously the Hourglass blushes are like marbled between the pigment and then the ambient lighting powder, but I feel like you get that vibe from this because it's a little bit glowy, but not shimmery. Like it really just is very skin finishy. So it's not like a glowy blush in the sense of it having like sheen to it to me at all. It just really gives that like beautiful skin finish. I'm just gonna keep using that word because that's what I think it is. Almost like now what the Haus Labs looks like once we powdered it down. This is beautiful. I feel like this could be a great like everyday throw it on and go kind of blush. You know, sometimes when you're like, okay, I want a little bit of blush, but I don't want it to clash with my eye look, or I have a specific lip color in mind and I don't want it to be too much. Like this could be a shade that I pick out all the time. Very, very pretty. All right, I do have a product that I want to top it off with. It's not one that I purchased during the sale. It's one that I was actually given as a birthday gift to my sweet friend Aileen over from ATHR Beauty. By the way, I'll have her channel linked down below. She gifted me the Westman Atelier Peau de Pêche Super Loaded Tinted Highlight. I think we've probably talked about it before, but she had watched one of my Splurge Stalker Save videos where I was talking about the other new shade. Can't remember which one that is. I will have it right here. But she had seen me talking about it and how I was like, oh, that shade looks so pretty. I've also always wanted Peau de Pêche. And she was like, well, they had Peau de Pêche on the site. This is one you're getting. And I was like, I'm so excited. So I have to show you guys this. All right. So of course, in, you know, beautiful Gucci Westman style, we have the little like makeup sleeping bag in here. That's what I always call these because it's like, all right, we're like taking our makeup to camp and it's got its little pouch. So this is so luxe. I mean, y'all, this little compact could totally like double as a weapon. It's pretty heavy. And I really love this black packaging. I will say this compact is a little bit of a bitch to get open. I'm always like afraid. The little notch here needs to be a little deeper because I'm just afraid I'm gonna like try to open it up and my fingers are gonna dig right in. But again, this is Peau de Pêche. I mean, look at this shade. This is so pretty. Let me go ahead and I'll swatch it next to the blush. This is gonna be such a pretty combo. Ooh, 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 this texture. Okay, look at that combo. Ooh, that's a Kelly combo right there if I've ever seen one. All right, I'm turning this down for a second just so you can see this combo. So this obviously is the Westman Atelier and this is the RMS. Like that's gonna be a beautiful combo. I probably need to go fairly light with it because I feel like this is gonna be more of like a blush topper situation because that base color is so dark. Like I don't want it to look like dark when it's not in the light. I'm just not sure. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm not sure what the best way to pop this on is gonna be. I'm gonna start with my fingers. Let me go ahead and like turn this up just a little bit. There we go. That's back to like not feeling like I'm in the shadows. Maybe we'll do one side with fingers and then we'll go through with a brush on the other side. This is listed as a cream blush. I mean, and it definitely is really creamy, but it's not like an overly squishy emollient cream. I can see why Aileen likes these because she has a more oily skin type. And I think that like this would be a beautiful cream for oily skin. Yeah, this is beautiful, but I know that I'll get more, oh, I said I was gonna use this. Dang it, I said I was gonna use this with a brush. All right, I'll go in with a brush after I get off what's on my finger here. But this will be a little bit too dark for me to go ham with this time of year when I'm like almost at my palest. All right, I'm gonna go through with a BK 108. And we'll just add a little bit. I think it would really depend on like what kind of base products I have on and how I would want to apply this. Like I feel like I'm gonna actually get a lighter application with the brush. Granted, I was like yammering on this side, but I do feel like it got a little bit heavier with the finger. Let me see if I can just like blur this out just a little bit. There's something about the shade that makes me so excited to use it when the weather warms up, or maybe I'll take it on vacation this winter. Ooh, because it's like a bronzy peach, you know? It just has that like toasty warmth to it. I really like it. I mean, I could even see like on a very quick, like easy makeup day, just popping a little bit of this on the eyelid, because I have a feeling that this wouldn't like really crease too much, because it does. It again has that like powdery cream feel, if that makes any sense. Very, very pretty. Thank you, Aileen. All right, we're gonna put her back in her sleeping bag and let's move on. Now let's go ahead and do a bit of bronzing. I did wanna wait just so I could see exactly what those cheek products look like without having bronzer underneath. So I'm gonna go through with the Hourglass Diffused Bronze Light Ambient Lighting Bronzer. Why all these companies have such long names, I will never know, but I'm gonna go through with this one. I've been enjoying it recently. I do feel like it has a bit of like a rosier undertone to it, like a warm rosy undertone, which I think is gonna go nicely with this. So I just kind of want to use it before I get like too pale for the winter. All right, I know I'm grabbing a lot of BK Beauty brushes today, but it's really truly what I've been enjoying. So I'm gonna go through with the 111. This is one of the new core extension brushes. This is the dense bronzer brush. I have not been able to put this one down, and I had zero interest in getting it. BK was nice enough to send me a set of the core extension over, and honestly, like I never would have picked up this brush because I was like, I don't need like a bronzer brush, but this for me is the perfect size to have a like wash of bronzer that's still sort of targeted, you know? It's like a wash, but it's still targeted. I don't know if that's actually a thing, a targeted wash, but we're gonna go with it. You can see that this bronzer just like gives a little bit of life to the face. Of course, like all of the ambient products, it has that like natural glow to it that isn't too much, but it's just enough to give me like a healthy feel. Like honestly, I feel like right now I could like throw on a lip gloss and curl my eyelashes, put some mascara on and be fine. That's why I figured, we'll keep the eyes pretty light today. I feel very put together. I feel very dimensional in the face, and that really makes me feel very confident. So now we're gonna go ahead and decide which lip to wear. I had mentioned in my recommendations video that I had the Maracuja Juicy Squad lip set on my wish list, and I said that I wanted to get this to be able to have to split up between myself and as gifts. But then when it came down to it, I was like, I don't want to gift out any of these shades. I want to keep them all for myself to try. So I got two sets, one to keep for myself and one to break up into gifts. And I don't regret that at all. I only have 3 shades here to swatch for you. Sorry, the 4th one, the ginger shade, I took to work and I wore it and I evidently didn't bring it home. So I apologize, but we're gonna go ahead and swatch out these other 3. The ginger shade is a very pretty shade, but it is very nudie brown. I will try to use that in a upcoming video or maybe post it in a picture on Instagram soon, just so that you can see that, because it is a very pretty shade if you were curious. So we're gonna go through with the other 3 shades here. We have the second of the Juicy Lip Balm. So this is the shade Cranberry. And as I'd mentioned in my haul video, I do think that these are all like limited edition shades. I think that they're all like specifically for this box. They have a maybe slightly coconutty smell. Yeah. I didn't remember that from before, but I do feel like it's just like a slightly coconutty or like nutty. Now, the ginger shade was also one of the lip balms, but then we have the lip plump and the lipstick. So the lip plump is in the shade that, again, in that video, I said I was like slightly alarmed because it looked like it might be a little bit like bubblegummy, but I think that they had really loaded that product on the deeper skinned, like deeper lip colored model, because I was like, I don't know, like that's like a little bit scary. And then the lipstick is a beautiful shade in Rose. So they're all like click ups other than the lipstick. So I'll show you these 3 shades. Very pretty, I think very wearable. I mean, the lip plumper. So here you have the cranberry lip balm, and then you have this lip plump, and that's in the shade Cherry Blossom, by the way. It wasn't on the packaging, I apologize. And then this is the lipstick in Rose. I mean, I think I could get away with any of them. I want to try the lip plump first. Maybe we'll go ahead and like wipe that off after I do the eye look, and then like do the lipstick. We'll see, but let's just go ahead and throw some of this on because I am really curious to see like just how saturated it is and if it's gonna look like Barbie bubblegum pink. And I feel like I have a pretty good amount of pigment to my natural lips. Not as much as I did when I was younger, thank you, but still a decent bit. So I don't feel like it's like too like overly like bubblegummy. These have kind of that same, it's not, maybe it's not like, it is kind of a little bit coconut or like cocoa butter when I was talking. Okay, I just like blended it in a little bit more because as I was talking, I saw in the viewfinder one of those like gross, like, bleh. We don't want that. We don't want the like strings, but it's fine now. I just had a little bit too much on. So I can feel this doing a little bit of cooling, but it's not like overly crazy. It's not like some of those like super intense stingy ones, but it is that more like minty, cooling lip plumping feel. But it's pretty. It's honestly like just one of those like soft sheer shades. I don't think that anyone would feel like, oh my gosh, I have like bubblegum pink on my face. So I like it. I like it. I do want to say the Juicy Lip Balm texture. So I did wear the ginger one, like I'd mentioned, and it is a bit kind of sticky. It isn't like overly like goopy, but it does have a little bit of tack to it, like more than this does. It just had a little bit more like tack to it. So if you can't handle any of that, you probably wouldn't like those, but this is a little bit softer. I'll probably wear this for a bit while we do the eyes, and then I might just wipe off the excess, let this have done its like little like plumping action, and then we'll go ahead and put that lipstick on because that does look really pretty. All right, like I mentioned, we're just gonna do a fairly quick, easy, soft eye look. First for our base, I'm gonna go through with a couple of the Color Fix. I couldn't decide if I wanted exposed or if I wanted the shade Latte. So what we're gonna do is cocktail them together. I might even add in a little dab of concealer just to make this a little bit more skin toned and a little bit more sheer. So I'm gonna just show you here once I get these in. If you're new to my channel, hello. I love a good Color Fix moment, and these are so fun to be able to like cocktail and mix together. So we've got about equal parts of Latte and exposed. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of concealer here. We'll just go ahead and go through with the Kosas one because why not? So hopefully you can see here, that's like the little concoction we're working with here. The concealer is really just to give me, like I said, a little bit more workability and to be able to sheer out and like nude out this color a little bit. So I am going to just quickly buff this all over the eye. If you're new to working with Color Fix, I always recommend like working one eye at a time. But if you can blend fast, you can go ahead and do both at the same time. I just kind of wanted to offload a little bit of that extra product that was on the brush. All right, for ease of blending, I'm just gonna switch to a fresh buffing brush and just blur out that edge. So this has like no product on it, just keeping it clean and working it up into the crease. Very, very pretty. I could obviously leave it there. And I'm gonna just take whatever's left on that original brush and like run it along the lower outside of my lash line. Yeah, I love that. Okay, great. So now let's go ahead. I could leave it like this. I mean, this just looks great. I could just whack on some mascara, but I am gonna go in. I was digging around in my drawer for another cream shadow or something. I was like, oh, maybe I'll use the Sydney Grace, but then I saw this sitting there. This is the MAC Pigment in Tan. Classic, 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 like total old school beauty YouTube. I really like this and I thought it would just give a little bit of shimmer. I can't remember the last time I used this, and it's obviously a big ass bottle, so we might as well use some of it. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit out into the lid, and I just added a little bit of Fix Plus right into the cap. This will just be my little like mixing well, and I'm taking a Sigma Firm shader and just gonna like layer right over the top. This is like, it is tan, but it's got this like beautiful I don't know, like kind of rose gold vibe to it. And I'm gonna work it into that inner corner as well. I mean, boom, look done. Or I'm just gonna take that original brush and just blend where the sheen meets the matte. Ooh, I think this is so pretty. I like this a lot. And adding that little bit of concealer really did give a bit more of a playtime to the color fix. I think that the mattes actually have a decent bit of like blendability time, but if you do want a little bit more time, you can always add another product, a complexion product. It will make it a little bit more nude, which sometimes is nice to soften it down, but it does like extend the playtime. And you can see here, that's the mix that we had. All right, so now all I have to do is go through with mascara. And I have been loving on the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, but recently I found this one in my drawer and I was like, did I ever use that? Did I? What did I think of it? I don't even remember. And so I wanted to pull this one out. Of course, this is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. And since I couldn't remember if I had had a tube in the past that I'd used and liked, I picked up another one at some point. And so I was like, you know what? I really need to use this. I know that my nieces love this mascara, which is so funny because this is an old school YouTube favorite. And so I actually put it in their Christmas ball last year and they were like, yes, this is a great mascara. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad you like it. So I was like, well, wait, is it that great? I need to pull one out. So I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on quick. I'm still deciding my thoughts on it, but let's go ahead and do that and then we'll go ahead and change out this lip. Okay, really quickly, I just wanted to stop during application. This is one coat. One coat. I am quite impressed. I am really quite impressed. I really think that this is a nice lengthening, defining mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat and see how much volume we can build up, but so far, so good, Essence. Okay, here we are with two coats. Honestly, this mascara looks really nice. I don't think that it's quite as like lifting and vavoom as the Tower 28, but I think it does a really nice job for especially the price that this Essence mascara is. And usually this time of year, you can find it in bundles. You can find really great deals at Ulta. So A++, I know everyone has heard about this, but not everybody has tried it. So if you're looking for an inexpensive, I know that everyone has heard about this mascara, but I know that not everyone has tried it. So I do have to say, I feel like this is a great one if you're looking for a fairly inexpensive mascara. The one thing that I will say about this mascara though, is the first day that I tried it out, I don't know if it was because of the concealer that I was wearing that day, but I did feel like I got like a little bit of smudging on my lower lash line. I will leave a note. I will leave a note in the comments if I felt like this smudge at the end of today. I do have a good amount of time before I'm going to rinse this off tonight, so we'll see with this concealer if it does the same. I don't usually have a problem with mascara smudging, but I do know that I was using a fairly emollient concealer that day, so it could have just been that. So we'll see how this goes. I don't feel like this Kosas concealer is like that emollient that it's gonna make things slip slide, so I'll definitely leave a note if I did find that. So now it's time to change out this lip. I do feel like, you'll have to let me know, I feel like my lips, I mean, they definitely look a little bit more plump. That could obviously just be because they're nice and hydrated now, although I did have a lip mask on for a little bit before I had started this video, so I'm not really sure, but it feels really nice. And now that I've like wiped off that excess, it doesn't feel goopy at all. It just feels really nice. I think that this shade is just that sort of like lip balm, but better shade. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you wear it a little bit more sheer. So I would be more curious to look into some of these. I like the texture of this, of the lip plumper, a little bit better than the shade of the lip balm that I used. So this would probably be what I would steer more towards. But let's go ahead and try the lipstick and see what we think. I'm just gonna pop this on with like no liner or anything. This is a nice pink that's like pink, but not like overly electric. All right, I like this formula. It's nice and thin. Now, obviously I did wipe off that lip plumper, but there is gonna be some extra hydration and a little bit of slip left from that because it's not like I like completely dehydrated my lips trying to get it like super clean. This shade actually reminds me a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. Maybe just a tish more warm. I don't know, you'll have to let me know what you think. Let's zoom out so we can see the whole look. All right, here we are with the finished look. I do really enjoy this. I think this is just a beautiful, like soft, I don't even want to say soft glam, but it's like, for me, this would be a very like soft, everyday, like quick out the door makeup look. And I know that seems weird to be like, really, Kelly, a quick makeup look where you like mix together two color fix and you're doing all this stuff, but really it does go fairly quick. So I do really think that everything came together nicely. Now, obviously I've tried the foundation before, so that wasn't a surprise to me. So let's see how I feel about the concealer. I feel good. I just feel like right underneath my eye, I do have a bit more creasing than I normally do, but that could totally just be me. This is obviously a first impression. I think that the color actually turned out really good, although I do feel like I could benefit from, like I said, a little bit of that under eye corrector, which really isn't a big deal. I do feel like the olive shade is maybe not the best as an under eye corrector for me, just because of that like slight olive tone, but I love how it cut down the redness on my nose. My nose is red all the time, so I really do like this. I could even pop a little bit on the cheeks when I'm wanting to cut a little bit of that down. It did definitely like fade the redness on, well, it didn't fade it, but it covered up the redness on that blemish nicely too. So I think I'm gonna keep this one, especially because I don't have anything that's quite as olive as this, so it'll be really nice. So altogether, so far, I am pretty happy with this concealer. I think that the shade is gonna be a nice addition to my collection, and I like the coverage. I think that it's like a good amount of coverage. It's not too much, but it's enough to like get the job done. I'm just really enjoying a light coverage feel on my skin. And then like, give me all the blush, give me all the color. Speaking of all the color, can we just talk about this combination here? This blush and highlight look like they were made to be together. It's like a beautiful marriage. Again, I'm gonna be really excited to wear that Westman Atelier highlighter more in the summer when I can really like have it as like a beautiful like glow as a highlight and not just as like a blush topper, but that RMS blush, I'm going to be pulling that one out this season a lot, because now that I have something that's like a little bit more cool rosy on the eyes, I think you can see a little bit more of that cinnamony vibe from it. I love it so much. And I do really like these lip products. Like I said, I think that this lipstick is a really nice texture, and the lip plumper. The balm was just a little bit more thick to me, but now that I've gone through with the plumper and I just kind of like made sure to wear less, maybe I was just loading it on a little too much. Again, go ahead and check the comments if you're curious, because I'll definitely drop a pinned comment down there to let you know an update on how I'm feeling about all of these things. But I just wanted to sit down, play with some of this new makeup, partially just so I can like put it away. Put it in a little home. Now, I do think I'm gonna keep a couple of these things out in my fall shop, my stash. Like I said, I'm trying to rotate a few things in and out, which is why the Hourglass bronzer is in there now. So I'll probably put the blush in there. I'll probably put the concealer in there too, because someone in the comments when I was talking about this concealer said that it's known for going off pretty quickly. So I'm like, okay, well then we need to have a solid effort to be able to go through this. But I think especially if this is this good at cutting down the redness on my nose, this is gonna be something that I really enjoy. I was actually considering, by the way, in the Sephora sale, I was hunting for a good green color corrector, because I'm just like, you know, some days I don't even want coverage. I just want to get rid of a little bit of the redness. So this might be a good option. I mean, it's obviously going to give me coverage, but this might be something that can do that a little bit, because when I was looking for a green cover corrector, I just wasn't seeing anything. Just really wasn't seeing anything on Sephora that tripped my trigger. So I was actually watching Hannah Louise Poston's like green color corrector video that she did, and I think I'm going to pick up one of those ones from Ulta to give it a try. So be tuned for future videos, because I'll probably be pulling that one out in a video soon. I hope that you enjoyed this little mini try on. Again, I know that this wasn't some like massive, mega Sephora haul, the biggest haul ever, but I'm just not feeling that vibe right now. These truly are the things that were catching my eye. And like I'd mentioned, I did want to make sure to do a fairly small order, because I knew I was going to do a very large, expensive Lisa Eldridge order. That video might be up before this one. It might be. If it is, I'll go ahead and link it up here, but if not, it's coming soon. So I'm glad that I like kept to a smaller budget for this, because there were so many things from Lisa that were just making my heart go pitter patter. And I had a feeling that that's the way it was going to be. So this is definitely a way to like even out the budget. And that is the reality of it all, right? We have to pick and choose. Most of us, most of the time. All right, lovelies, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget to give this video a like on your way out. If you did, let me know, did you pick up any of these things, or how are you enjoying the things that you picked up during the Sephora sale? I would love to know, and I will see you really soon.